Breaking news out of Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor is being traded.
JT!
One of the best running backs currently in the NFL requested a trade about a month ago from the Colts. Got denied, of course, because he is him. About 2 years ago, he had roughly 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 20 touchdowns. So he's a monster. Last season, got injured. So his contract negotiations were not going well. This has been a thing for about 6 months with running backs not being able to get the deals they want. But it's come to a boiling point where Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade because he knows that there's teams out there that will pay him. And the Colts weren't willing to because of the risk with his injury last season, and he's still on his rookie deal. But he got denied that trade.
Right.
But less than an hour ago, the NFL has reported that Jim Irsay and all of the management from the Colts facility has granted him his trade request. The going price at this moment is a first-round pick, which I think is extremely low for a young stud like Jonathan Taylor. He's only been in the league for a few years. And they also said it could be a combination of other picks that equal a first-rounder. So it could be like a second and a third, for example. Now, if you are any team in the NFL that does not have a top 10 running back like Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey,
I'd be biting at that.
One first-rounder.
I would be biting at that.
Yeah, that's so easy.
He's arguably one of the better pure runners and a great pass catcher at that. You have a good O-line there. That man will do work for you. And if you give him the opportunity so that he can go show off and show himself for this year so he can get a bigger contract, you know damn well he's going to go balls to the walls this year, kill it on the field, 1,000 yards rushing, over 500 pass catching yards. Jonathan Taylor is a monster. He is that guy. There's a reason Nike had him on like a brand deal. There's a reason a bunch of like fantasy analysts would arguably put him at number one if it wasn't for the situation.
With his
contract, injuries, etc.
There's a reason they were half a game away from entering the playoffs with Carson Wentz as their quarterback 2 years ago. There was a reason they were still positive, and of course the rest of the team is good, but he was a monster. Now, there are not currently betting odds out because this just happened. By the time this goes up, there might be, but as of the time of recording, which is 10 minutes after the news got released, there are not betting odds, but I gotta assume the Bears are number one. The Bears have the money for it. They need a running back, and it's a division that is relatively weak compared to the rest. And with all the other signings they've done, they're a team that the building is probably excited.
Oh yeah, they could use that to bolster the offense even more. Now, don't get me wrong, Khalil Herbert. He's a pretty solid running back. We've seen him in preseason. He played,
but he's in the bottom 10 of the league starting just because there's a lot of good running backs at this point. But
having JT at the Bears, oh man.
The other reason I think he goes to the Bears is because the other teams that could use a running back are not in a position to win. Like the Cardinals, for example, are not going to win. I don't think the Bears necessarily are either, but their ceiling is being placed at 12, 13 wins and a deep playoff run at this moment.
Right.
No one has the Cardinals going anywhere. No one has the Rams going anywhere. Those are just two of the teams that are potentially in the market for running back. Same thing with the Bucs. They have Rachaad White, but who knows how he's going to work out. So I think that the Bears are number one. The Bills are a sneaky, I think, because although they would have to figure out the money, they do need a running back. James Cook, although has potential, has not shown that yet. And a running back like JT on that team would make the instant Super Bowl favorites.
You know what two teams I think are pissed off the most about this?
Who's that?
The Jets and the Patriots.
Oh, they have to be because of what just happened with theirs.
They just signed two vets only for JJ to be in the market at an exclusive price.
They also have young running backs, though, and so they were in the market for, I think, a vet specifically.
Okay, fair.
But still, JT was an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean,
the other two teams that I think are going to be sneaky potentially in this, one is the Vikings, because they have the money. They just got rid of Dalvin Cook, and although they have Madison and they believe in him, he's obviously not near as good as JT. They can afford him. You get him and Jay Jettas on the same team. That is the best offensive duo of any two skills players in the league.
JJ and JT?
No one is better because they're both top three undeniably at their position, arguably number one at their position. That would be disgusting, although I don't think they go for it. That would be really exciting. And my final one
I think they might go for it, actually.
They might, but I
Considering
think,
how competitive that division is?
I don't think they're willing to give up as much as someone like the Bears.
Okay.
And they also couldn't pay them as much as someone like the Bears. Because the Vikings have about $10 million in cap space, and I don't think they want to spend every penny of that on one player. The last team that I think could potentially be in it, because they were in the market for the other guys, is the Dolphins. Although I think that Devon Achane has looked incredible in the preseason, and they might just ride with him rather than spending all of the money they have on JT. Achane, seriously hurt?
No, not seriously hurt, but he's hurt at the moment.
Either way, they are another team that I think is in it, but undeniably the Bears are number one. So obviously we'll be updating the story as more information comes out. But Jonathan Taylor being on the trade block is massive NFL news, and whichever team gets him is instantly going to increase themselves a couple of wins this season in my book because he is that much of a game changer when he plays healthy. And we also know that he wasn't really a fan of playing for the Colts last season, which is another reason that he kind of just rode the bench because of his injuries. Because he could have come back and kind of half did it and then went right back out. So if he goes to a team that he wants to play for that really has an exciting locker room that I think knows they have a chance to win, I think Jonathan Taylor is going to come out here and get 1,800 yards from scrimmage and 15-plus touchdowns, which is going to be insane wherever he goes. If the Bears get him, I might have to change my pick from division winner to the Bears, especially if Justin Fields can step up.
Yeah.
But
I think anyone in that division, if they pick up JT,
they would be.
If the Vikings, because right now it's in contention between all four of them, a lot closer to Lions, Bears, and Vikings than it is Green Bay. But any one of them that gets them.
Yeah, I don't think Green Bay, just because they have Jones and Dillon, and they don't want to spend money on that.
Right.
But it wouldn't be a downgrade.
You know what'd be funny? I think it'd be messed up, but I think it'd be kind of funny.
Chargers?
No. But I'd love to have him on the Chargers. Don't get me wrong.
I said that for Derrick Henry a while ago. Get rid of Eckler and get Derrick Henry whenever he was on the trade block.
Yeah. I wonder if Eckler's contract. Did he get paid?
Eckler, not yet.
Good JT. But you know what would be really messed up but funny? If he went to the Raiders.
I thought about that too, but I don't think he wants to go somewhere that he's not going to get paid or win. And they aren't going to pay Josh Jacobs. They're not going to pay JT that much more. Obviously, JT's better in my opinion, although last season was a bit different. I think JT's got better longevity. I don't think they're going to pay him enough to make it worth being on a losing team.
Broncos?
That is the other team that I thought, because Javonte Williams, we don't know if he's going to come back from injury. The Broncos are in a position where they got a really good coach now. They've been building that offense this whole offseason and are going to be, I think, a sneaky potential playoff wildcard spot this season. So if they come get JT, that's going to be disgusting. But I think they're probably going to rank somewhere second or third in the odds as the Broncos, with the Bears being number one. Hey, what if the Falcons just go get them?
That would just be asinine.
Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson. Oh, it's not going to happen. But a Falcons
that
fan
is the immaculate
what about the Chiefs? The Chiefs go get Jonathan Taylor. They can't afford it, and they got Pacheco.
Good.
I wouldn't want that. But now we're skepticizing. So we'll leave it at that. Obviously, we'll bring updates as more updates come out, as betting odds come out, as rumors heat up with specific teams. But I'm betting it's going to happen within the next few days, because whatever team wants him is going to want to get him as soon as possible, so we can play some preseason snaps and start learning the scheme. Because there's only a few weeks till the NFL season starts at this point, and you want him to have as much knowledge of their scheme and their plays as possible before the season starts. So I think that this is going to happen very, very quickly. Obviously, this just happened this evening, the news. So I think tomorrow the Colts are going to be getting calls from 15 NFL teams.
Do you think in that time away, he made some calls to a couple of teams?
Oh, I have no doubt he was gauging interest, because he's been wanting to get traded for the last month. There's a reason he's been sitting out with injury for the last month. But whenever he has a chance to get a contract opportunity, he comes back out and plays, and there's no injury, which I love. Jonathan Taylor. He's my favorite running back in the league, probably behind Pacheco, maybe tied with Pacheco just for my personal favorite. So I can't hate him for what he's doing. He deserves the money.
You really do.
And as much as I want him to stay on the Colts, because I do like the Colts, are not my favorite team, but I like him.
JT.
He's not going to stay there, and he's going to have a better career going somewhere else, I think.
Right.
So we'll leave it at that. But like I said, subscribe for more updates. We'll be on top of this as stuff happens. So check back probably tomorrow, and we'll have an update for you guys.
Yeah. So stay frosty, stay frosty, stay frosty.